You know, Daimler Chrysler's hit home run after home run. This week on Test Drive, the all-new Dodge Nitro. Does it measure up? The Dodge Nitro will be many things to many potential buyers. For some, an off-road stalwart, for others, an on-road expression of their own personality. The one thing it will not be mistaken for is anything other than a Dodge. From its oversized crosshair grille to its overtly boxy profile and exaggerated fenders, this thing has huge road presence. The single biggest drawback with this Nitro is the fact that the four-wheel drive system is of the part-time variety. That means that as the conditions change, you have to switch the system manually between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive locked. In today's world, it demands a full-time all-wheel drive system. Now, the saving grace is that option is available. It should be standard across the board. Where the Nitro really does surprise is in its ride quality. The reason for the surprise is that if you strip away the expressive sheet metal, you'll find a Jeep Liberty chassis beneath, albeit a radically revised version. If for nothing else, the Jeep was famous for its rough ride. In contrast, the Nitro is very civilized. The suspension absorbs all but the largest pothole in stride, and without the usual muss and fuss of a vehicle that uses a solid rear axle. The steering and brakes also follow this lead. The steering is fast without being twitchy, and the brakes are easily modulated and bring the Nitro to rest from 100k in just 42.9 meters. The back end of the Nitro has been well thought through. To begin with, when you get the tailgate up out of the way, the back end will hold 32.1 cubic feet of stuff. If you fold the seats down, that number grows to 65.2, which is generous. The other things, the rear seats are covered in hard plastic so you won't scuff up the carpet. The other nice part is this load and go optional floor. You take a heavy bag, you throw it on the back, and now loading it in is as simple as sliding it in. The one drawback, this back glass should open independently of the tailgate. It doesn't. When it comes to the powertrain, the Nitro is offered in two very different flavours. The SLT tested features a 3.7 litre V6 engine that's married to either a 6-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now this thing pushes 210 horsepower and 235 pound-feet of torque, which is enough to motivate the Nitro with enthusiasm. It'll run to 100k in 9.5 seconds and turns the 80 to 120 trick in 8.3 seconds. The range-topping RT is a very different beast, as its larger 4-litre V6 pushes a more rewarding 255 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque through a 5-speed automatic transmission. Not only does the performance take a noticeable turn for the better, it does so with very little penalty in fuel consumption. You know, if you go with the Nitro SLT like this tester, you'll find a very nice vehicle. All the usual power items, leather seats, an infinity stereo that also features steering wheel mounted cruise controls as well as audio controls, nice dash, it's all put together very nicely. You'll also notice that the bold exterior theme carries on inside. Everything is big and bold and chunky. The one exception, the cowl. The dash panel has been pushed all the way forward. Now that does a couple of good things. First of all, it opens up visibility when you're on road, but more importantly, when you do venture off-road, you can actually see when you're climbing or descending a steep hill. There are also a couple of options that are going to be popular. My Gig is a multimedia infotainment system with a 6.5-inch touchscreen and a 20 gig hard drive that not only holds all of the navigation info, it can store up to 1,600 songs as well as JPEG images. As for safety, the Nitro earns an electronic stability control system, dual-stage front airbags and drop-down side curtains. The latter are important because they also deploy in the event of a rollover. You know, this new Nitro is a very nice bit of kit. It's got good off-road utility and good on-road civility. There are two things to bear in mind, however. If you do buy this vehicle, make sure you go with the full-time all-wheel drive system and opt for the 4-litre V6. Yes, that means going up to the RT model, but you know, it's worth the extra coin.